so I don't know what the heck we're doing today. The weather's been wonky all week, and today was supposed to be a washout. It was supposed to be 90% chance of rain all day, and it rained most of the night, and now it's not raining at all, and not even projecting a high chance of rain today, except around lunch, and it keeps going down every time I check it. So, man, this is hard work. I'm reworking the schedule in overtime. So right now we're gonna go to breakfast and make our plan. And since Emily didn't bring me breakfast, I'm making her go to breakfast with me in this stupid looking hat. It looks like the rain's holding off, so we're going to Savage Gulf South, which is actually west. It's kind of weird. And we're gonna hike to two waterfalls at the Collins West Trailhead. And hopefully it just stays cloudy and no rain. There's a 90% chance of rain all day today, but now it's down to 30. So we're gonna chance it. We're having fun with Google Maps. Sometimes Google Maps doesn't do what you want it to do. So we're scouting out tomorrow's hike to see if we can pull the camper and still get to this place. There's a bigger parking lot, but for some reason it took us down some country road and we wound up on somebody's, out in the middle of somebody's field. Technically we were at the edge of Savage Gulf State Natural Area, but it was just in the middle of somebody's field. So we're back on track now. All right, we've made it. We've been driving a while. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna do one final weather check, make sure we're clear. It's drizzling. We're gonna get her done. All right, today we're Collins West Trailhead. So we're gonna hike up to, it's a very short little hike, to Suter Falls, and then we're gonna try to go to Horsepound Falls, and we're not gonna do all this. Should be a short little hike today, 4.5 miles. And where we were exploring this little area, because this is where we may go tomorrow on our way down south. Kind of cloudy and windy, and we may get wet. Got our ponchos. Let's give it a whirl. It is moist out here today.
Oh wow, look at that tree.
Yeah. Climb up there and sit on that. I'll take it.
You're gonna take it from this angle.
I'll take your picture. Go up there, ride on it like a rodeo. Wee-haw! We're going to Suter Falls, and then we're gonna go maybe to Horsepound Falls, depending on what the weather does. Going that way. Wow. This thing is huge. So awesome. Yeah, I guess we'll cross the bridge and the trail keeps going. It's a pretty treacherous little area. Then we're gonna go across this bridge.
If I fall.
I guess we're going that way. Through the woods. So now we're just past the waterfall, and it's almost 2 miles. So we're up behind these cliffs. And we just passed these massive boulders. There's a little waterfall up there. If you like hiking on rocks, South Cumberland State Park is the place for you. Almost every trail we've been on, it's just like this. rock slide after rock slide. And it's totally fine if it's wet like it is today, it just makes it slow going. I popped up on this ledge and this massive frog, like the one we just saw. Look how big he is.
Where is he? Holy crap.
That's a big one. He's probably half the size of my foot. We saw a few of these guys on the trail the other day. 2 days ago, but we did not see one yesterday at all. Now we saw one on this one. All right, we're finally, I think, out of that rocky area. So you can see the cliffs are way up there and you're just hiking along the bottom of them. That's pretty slow going, but we seem to have leveled out now. And we're back on dirt and we're headed down into this canyon. And hopefully we'll make a little faster time now. I was starting to freak out about our time window. We're about an hour in right now. Most of the time when Emily and I are hiking, we're talking. We're not usually talking loud, but I do try to make noise if we're in an area like this, because I mean there could be bear and I do not want to sneak up on a bear. So my go-to sound, Emily was making fun of me, a lot of people say bear bear, I do short little burst. Burp, 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 burp. Seems to work pretty good. We haven't been attacked so far. Knock on wood. So it has just started to rain. And there's a big hole there that I guess they want us to go this way. We're going to have to put our ponchos on if it rains too hard, which I'm not excited about, hiking in a poncho. These rocks are so slippery. And we just climbed off of that. So we made it to Horsepound Falls, and I don't know, we use All Trails, and sometimes All Trails is just a blatant lie. It said it was 4.5 miles and 2-hour hike, and it was way more than that so far. It took us about 2 hours to get here, which is way slower than what we should have been. We should have finished in 3 to 3.5 hours. It's just so wet, we're having to go real slow. Everything's slick. I'm renaming this section of the trail the Bon Jovi Trail. Slippery when wet. Mom's cracking up at my jokes. We're in Savage Gulf, South Cumberland State Park, and 49 Savage is in the house. Hashtag Savage. Slippery when wet. Squish, squish. Squirt, squirt. There's a lot of squish, squish going on the trail today.
Squelch, squirt.
Squirt, squirt.
I feel like I'm going on a bear hunt.
Squirt, squirt. How old are you, Mom? Mom just had a birthday. She's 47. She's taking over 47 Savage's role. She's back here calling me fat.
No, I'm just saying you're making a big deal saying you have to hurry and get me to my restaurant. But I was like, you're going to be just as hungry as I am, if not hungrier.
And then she made fun of me eating ribs last night, saying that
It's like you couldn't talk to me last night at dinner because you were too busy shoving ribs down your throat.
47 Savage. Skirt, skirt. So we're making pretty good time back. I think it's easier to go up, but we're in the little switchback part now, so it'll slow us down because we're going to be climbing up this You can see kind of the cliffs up there. That's where we're headed. So we just came that way, that way, that way. And we're gonna wind up there underneath that ridge. Ride it, Mama.
You're gonna have to help me with this.
Ride it. You ride it and I'll take a picture. Gotta get the views up. Get the views up. Ride 'em rodeo, baby. So one of the trade-offs with the rain, it does make it a little more slippery and treacherous, but it's also a lot cooler. It's in the 70s and we're school just got out, so we're middle May and it's in the 70s. And it was in the 80s and 90s last week in Tennessee. So life is a series of trade-offs. So we're back to the rocky part. Emily's gonna go up there in that cave first though. Go ahead, I'll stay down here. Go ahead, just traverse up there and then go in and wave at me. I'll stay right here and film you. I direct. You're the action star. That is an action item. Fine, we'll just walk on all these big boulders then. These wet boulders. So we're hiking on wet. It's wet. It's raining as we're hiking back, and as we were hiking there, it's these boulders. You're rock hopping half the trail. It's very pretty, but like I said, Strava says this is a 4.5 mile, 2-hour hike, and I Strava'd it, and it was 7.25 miles, and it says we moved an hour and a half, but we were out there for 3 or 4 hours. So, I don't know, very pretty, but pretty challenging if it's wet. But I'll tell you, right here where we ended up, that boulder field that you wind up in right after Suter Falls. Suter Falls was pretty amazing. I was really impressed with the way it looks. Mom! Whew. That's a fun hike. All that boulder kind of hopping, and then the bridge and the waterfall, just really fun. Well, time lapse out. We're done. And then I was just blown away at the size of this kind of cave that you kind of walk through. I mean, it was massive. For Tennessee, this is absolutely massive. So that cave, it goes all the way around there to the waterfall. That's one of the biggest ones that I've seen in the state. We've been to Alum Cave in the Great Smoky Mountains, and it's big. I don't think it's that big. This is as big as something like out in Zion. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, how did we miss that?
We missed the sign in again. We keep forgetting to sign in. We're gonna die out here one day. 7.25 miles, 3 hours and 38 minutes. We're back at the campsite. I took Emily to the lake for our trip.